Come out there buying the supper, I want something good.
Yeah, says they won't get them in unless we go.
It's always
The
good.
Metro City won't continue.
I'd like to call the monthly meeting of the Edgar County Board to order. Would you all please rise to recite the pledge with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here today. Mr. Clerk, can you do the roll call, please?
Be glad to. Good morning. Chittick.
Here.
Luddington.
Here.
Patrick. Here. Bruner. Here. Lorenzen. Here. Farnham. Here. Voigt.
Here. We do have a quorum. In fact, everybody's here. Next item is the approval of the minutes as submitted by the clerk from March 13th, 19 regular meeting. You've had those for a few days. What's your pleasure? Is there a motion to approve them as presented?
So moved.
Derek moves.
I'll second.
John seconds. Assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Claims against the county. Likewise, you've had those for a couple of days. Are there any questions or clarifications that are needed? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve those claims.
So moved.
Dan moves. Andy seconds. Assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Next item is county board member claims. You've had those for a couple of days. Are there any questions? Hearing none, a motion to approve. Phil moves.
Second.
Derek seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, all those items have passed. Now we come to the portion of the meeting where we ask for public comment. I'd like to remind you that we allow 5 minutes per person. I'd like you to come up to the lectern, and the floor is open. Whoever has any comments? Public comments?
I noticed,
And who, I'm sorry, John, who are you? For the record.
John Pratt.
Thank you, John.
Spelled with a K,
Thank you.
just like the cheese company, only I don't own the company.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
I noticed, nobody disputed my comment at the study session about the complete disaster that happened the last time the ambulance service was run by the ambulance. Kirk Allen also made some comments about some of the things, statistics when dealing with the hospital. And then later on, a person from the hospital came up and tried to distance the hospital operation from the ambulance operation, claiming they were completely separate. But my question is, if they're completely separate, why would they include information on the hospital operation in their bid for the ambulance service? If they're separate, that shouldn't have been mentioned. So, if they're trying to bolster their bid by claiming all the things they can do at the hospital, then the hospital operation should be taken into consideration. That's all I have. When it comes to vote on the airport issues, if you just vote no, don't sign any contract, I'll be happy.
Any other public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to the highway resolution authorizing the county engineer to lease purchase equipment with financing from Prospect Bank and sign any financing documents required. Do you want to just briefly?
Briefly, we have a 15-year-old 312 with 4,000 hours that we're gonna trade in for
newer 313. Pretty sad.
This item was discussed on Monday morning, so are there any questions from the board?
My understanding is Stratton Township is going to acquire the 312 too. I don't know, it's not official, but it's fairly official. Stratton's going to get the smaller excavator, the 15-yard excavator. 4,000 hours is equivalent to a car with 150,000 miles.
Motion to approve resolution. Phil moves.
Second.
Derek seconds. Further discussion, please. I assume you're ready to vote. Mr. Clerk?
Chittick,
Yes.
Luddington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
6-0.
6-0, it is passed. The next item on the agenda is award ambulance bids. Derek, did you want to preface anything right now?
No, we had a thorough discussion at the study session, and it was requested that we table it so members can gain more information, so I think that's the appropriate move forward.
Can I put you down as moving to table this?
So moved.
Do you want to set a time on this, or like the 22nd, which is two Mondays from now, during, but dovetails into our study session? Do you want to see if we can't be ready? I mean, is that enough time?
Yes.
Okay,
I think it's more than enough time, but I kinda hate to call a special meeting just for
Outside
one
of
issue unless there's,
we have a couple other issues we can add to that, piggyback to it. But if we don't, then we have to wait till the May meeting.
No, I mean,
No,
the alternative would be
definitely.
a special meeting in the, like, next week, right?
Yeah, we can do
That's
next week
necessary.
or sometime where we can do,
It was discussed at the study session, and all parties said that a 2-week delay was not gonna be an issue,
so we'll, Mr. Clerk, we'll look at setting it up before the study session at, probably at 9 o'clock on the 22nd.
I just wanted to clarify, you talked to all parties and they're okay with the 2-week delay on
We
it?
sat there at the meeting and I asked.
Okay,
both parties.
okay.
Okay, the motion to table is with it coming back with the idea we're coming back on the, not sure this is all totally appropriate, but we're thinking that we have a special meeting to readdress this issue on the 22nd
I
of
can
April.
move twice if you need me to.
And then that, Derek moves and Carl seconds. So all those in favor of tabling this till the 22nd signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Okay, resolution authorizing chairman to execute an FAA fund transfer agreement for the funds, well, for 2012 and 2013, which amounts to basically our allotments for those 2 years, according to the FAA of 297,000 would be assigned to the project that's gonna be started here directly. It needs to be transferred into an active account. It's a housekeeping for the FAA. Any questions? Hearing none, a motion to approve the transfer, or resolution to transfer.
So moved.
Derek moves, Carl seconds. Further discussion? When you're ready, Mr. Clerk.
Chittick,
Yes,
Luddington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
It does carry unanimously. Thank you. Next is the resolution authorizing the chairman to sign a design agreement amendment for PRG 4144 and 4328. That is the apron extension and the fuel farm. They're actually known now as one number, not two, but since the original agreement listed two, and since then they've been combined, we just need to update. This is an amendment to update the engineering, which is required for everybody to move forward. So, any questions? A motion to approve the resolution, please? Dan moves, Andy seconds. Further discussion? Mr. Clerk.
Chick. Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes. Unanimous. Resolution authorizing the chairman to sign an agreement on PRG 4558. This likewise has been bid and we're working, or the state is working out the approval of this contract, which is the, is it the East Apron or West Apron? I get confused on which, East. East Apron and remilling and resurfacing the taxiway. And this is an update since the agreement was signed years ago. We're updating the agreement. Any questions? A motion to, for the resolution?
So moved.
Derek moves, Carl seconds. Any further discussion? Okay, Mr. Clerk?
Chick.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes. Okay, next we have a resolution as to acceptance of oath, or office oath and bond for Linda K. Ash, trustee, Hume Fire Protection District. Do I hear a motion for that resolution? Dan moves,
Second.
Derek seconds. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Chick.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Okay, next is a resolution to appoint Linda K. Ash, trustee, Hume Fire Protection District.
So moved.
Derek moves,
I'll second.
John seconds. Further discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Chick.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Approved. Next, a resolution to acceptance of oath, our office oath and bond of Kevin Key, trustee, Brockton Community Fire Protection District. Motion to approve resolution. Carl moves. Andy seconds. Further discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Chick.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Approved. Okay, next is resolution to reappoint Kevin Key, trustee, Hume Fire Protection District. Yes, Carl moves,
I'll second.
John seconds. Further discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Chick. Was that you?
We have a question from the audience.
Well, we don't
Can we
normally,
not take it? Okay, yes.
Yes.
Ludington. Patrick.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
And Farnum.
Yes.
did you have a
The
question?
fire district name's wrong. It says Hume and you said Brockton. They're not.
That's true.
Oh, it's
So
two
it is
different
the
things
sheet
on
also,
here.
You're right.
Which is it?
Brockton.
It's Brockton. So number 16 says,
Well, then I changed my vote.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's one of those cut and paste things from the one.
Scrivener error.
Scrivener error.
We'll make sure it's correct.
Yes.
It is for the
Thank you.
Brockton.
Sorry. I just.
Oh, that's
No,
fine.
no, thank you.
Got troublemaker in the audience.
No. Okay, next item, appoint the following to Edgar County Board of Review. Susan Saxon, who would be a new person replacing Carolyn Heath. Roger Stanley for both of those for 1 year, and Ray Young for 2. Questions, comments?
There was a little question, issue. I'll just try to ride through it. Why? I don't want to aggravate you or you. I have a little problem with why they're all farmers. Nothing personal, we need farmers. I love them all. I just think the urban population needs representation, but that's just a comment.
Okay,
Susan's not a farmer. I know that, I know what she is, I've already checked, I have no problem with that lady at all. I have a problem, I think she's first class. And I'll leave it there.
and it is noted, and we'll take a look at
I
that.
always want to be a note.
Okay.
Separate it out. You can't separate out and vote for them individually.
But I don't think you can, the way it's presented, can you?
I just asked a question.
Well,
I
I,
just-
you know, I don't think we're tied to protocol here.
Table for a time being.
Oh, we can't table
Let's
it.
don't do that. Let's don't do it. Just do it like we normally do.
Are these, all these terms expiring now? Is,
June
Right,
one.
They'll convene again on June 1,
okay,
so that's when the
so
term
it's
would
like
end.
Roger's term before, a 2-year term?
It's, once they pass the exam, we haven't really specified that. You can't get anyone to go to Springfield for 2 days and then stay for a third day and take the exam. Once they pass it, they just pretty much stay there. This year, we decided per statute, we probably ought to label the length of time of the term. So,
You know, I have to, you know, I obviously have feelings about this, but I talked to Dina this morning, and it is her understanding, I trust her. It's difficult, extremely difficult to find somebody to do this. So even though I have my own feeling, I don't wanna go, be a problem, I just wanna.
Well, it's something to think about going forward in the future, you start looking for other people.
Well, she will, she's.
I'm open to
she
Yeah,
said-
no, I
That's what
understand.
she
can't
get
get
at. She
anyone
said,
willing.
nobody, I mean, who wants to go to Springfield 3 days and do this, nobody wants to do that hardly, so she's got her hands tied. So I just think it's a personal issue. Let's just go on.
So a year from now, we'll come back and we'll have to address Susan and Roger's terms, but then Ray will have another year.
Correct.
Any further clarification? A motion to approve, a motion to approve the appointment of these 3 individuals for the said terms.
So moved.
Derek moves, Carl seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay?
Nay.
Okay. Next, file administrative order 2019-8, reappointing Bradley Tucker as jury commissioner. Motion to approve. Carl moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, now we come to the portion of the meeting where we hear from our department heads. Don is at a mandatory meeting, or left for a mandatory meeting for 2 days at 9 o'clock this morning, so he is not available. We'll talk about finances a little later. Do you have anything more to add from the discussions Monday morning, Aaron?
I do not.
Okay.
Do you have any
Sheriff?
questions for the highway department?
Thank you, Aaron.
I have nothing this time.
Nothing at this time? Hi, Janet. Do you have anything at this time?
I don't, other than had Andy and Dan both kind of caught me before the meeting, and then I was kind of talking to Aaron a little about the fiber optic,
Good.
internet thing. So evidently, we have some conflicting information. Aaron was not aware, if he didn't understand that we were reliant, it was reliant for us to be able to get it if they accepted it. He didn't understand it that way. The way I understood it was that in order for the health department to be able to have it, the highway department would have to be on board. But Aaron said that's not the way he understood it to be, so I need to get some clarification from the company.
We'd like for Josh to speak. Josh has been dealing with that at the highway department.
Josh, do you have anything to add?
Comment on that?
We've got a letter that I gave the board that talked about, it's from Ross, talking about the issues, so you guys have a copy. Josh, do you have anything to add?
My understanding was, I thought we could do it separate, I was still working on the term.
Right, and
5
that
years,
was,
and that's the only reason, for the most part, I've been kind of trying to get them, I thought it was gonna be shorter, and then the thing they gave me said 5, so I've been trying to get a little clarification. I haven't heard back from them yet this morning, so.
is that what we all understood as of Monday morning, that was an issue that we should move forward on and try to negotiate the term? Is that correct, gentlemen?
Yes.
That's what I understood.
So, just to be clear, the last communication as far as the price per install based on a certain number or no? As far as, is it just those 2? The original was 4 different sites. Can you flesh that out a little bit.
Like I said, I was looking into them before I knew that Ross was trying to do everybody else, and that got him to was it $1,000 install, and then they come down, they keep changing they keep upping the speed a little bit, and the last one we got was what, 450 for 20 meg. And then I could have swore that they said that was a contingent, they were gonna offer that to everyone, and you didn't have to have 4 locations or whatever, but I was dealing with somebody different than Ross was, and they finally transferred me over to her to give me the quote, and I haven't heard back from her on the
So
term.
same company, just different representatives?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I'd say if the offer was put out to everyone as individuals, that's certainly a lever as far as negotiating the term of service by including as many groups as possible. And, you know, if the deal is that good, I mean, that certainly opens up the number of places I would consider installing. And even like, you know, if they're offering $1,000 to connect, say, the airport, it seems like a no-brainer as well, just because, you know, at the current time, we don't necessarily need that speed, but that's a hell of an opportunity, so.
And my concern is that we do need to move on it to get our foot in the door, because, they're scheduling, they're making their plans on, getting equipment lined out and that kind of thing. It is, I just wanna make it clear, it is critical for us to have this. It absolutely is. Our entire dental clinic, which sees thousands of patients a year, is completely dependent on our internet system. And they have an x-ray up and they're trying to form a treatment plan, and we go down. And we don't know how long it's gonna be down. So it is highly important for us. There are about 15 actual desks with computers that my people are at all day long, nonstop. The original offer was 4 departments, $4,000 install at $500 a month. So then they had talked to the highway department with a much better offer. So when I found that out, I contacted the company and said, hey, how about same here? So they said, okay. The only thing I'm unclear about is, I thought she told me that, we wouldn't have to have 4 departments, but we would need both of us to be on it for that kind of a price. So I am gonna be contacting them and get clarity on that.
It sounds like you, Ross, and Josh need to coordinate this in the next couple of days, so everybody's on the same page and we're asking the same questions, right?
Do we need to have some sort of authority? I mean, is that something that's gonna benefit us by, or is it necessary, I guess is the question. Like, it sounds like as far as the cost, it's not nowhere near what would necessitate a bid or necessarily even a vote. But I mean, that's something I think we should flesh out if time is of the essence, right?
Well, the thing I'm concerned about, and we can just talk about here, is $6,000 a year in phone bill. Or whatever kind of bill you wanna cost them, say that is. And I'm gonna talk about later that we need to do a committee of the whole and start looking at these budget issues that include, diminishing returns on state funds, the new wage charts that we're gonna be facing. We're facing a lot of issues with diminishing resources. And now if we go with 2 other departments, we're looking at 12 grand. I mean, obviously, if it's a no-brainer for the health department, it's a no-brainer for the highway department. But for us to pick up another 12, I mean, 12 here, extra wages here, pretty soon, we've got issues.
I agree, and I don't doubt that there's an increase. I don't think it's a pure 12,000 because of what services.
Well, it's $500 a month, isn't it,
Absolutely. However, there's cost savings associated with the old bill and things of that nature. So
Right, I understand, and I don't know
I'm sure
how
it's
that,
going to be more, but
I'm not arguing, yes.
What internet do you have out there?
I believe his name
AOL.
is Fell.
Okay.
Josh fell.
So you got like a monthly fee,
Annual.
annual, do you know roughly what that is?
I want to say $350, I'm not sure I'm right.
$350 a year? That's all?
That's about right.
It could be as much as 5, it's no more than 500, I'm thinking 350.
Are you
So if you go
satisfied
to
with
this, it'd
it?
be 6,000 a year. Well,
Right, and that's one that's certainly.
right, and you know, I don't know about ESDA, you know, what they've got out there.
Well, somebody brought up a good point, as the, you know, yes, they have good service, it appears thus far, and it's not cellular, which would be one of the situations that might be affected by a mass CAS or whatever, where everyone's trying to get on their cell phones. However, if said disaster is wind or earth related, where it knocks their line of sight antenna out,
Right.
you know, it's not really, it's far less likely that their fiber optic line would be knocked out by that, so that's a consideration as
Carl,
well.
I think they got failed because I think he got an antenna up on
Yeah, he
their
does.
tower.
So they're maybe 500, and you know, might not be anything if they're using the antenna, they might be free to charge.
I think I remember hearing that that's the
Somebody
exchange
talked about it
for
a while
putting
back.
it up there.
And I realize it's different for us, it's actually going to cost us less money monthly, because if we can tie the phone system in, because it'll be, with the Metro, it's going to be $450 a month. And right now, if I could get rid of my New Wave bill and my Frontier bill, I'm actually gonna come out between $50 and $100 a head each month. So I know that's different for us, but.
And one other comment for us, one other thing to take into consideration, although I'm pushing back a little bit because it's a little bit of an increased cost for us, but we do have asset management software that's operating on an Access database that the company won't hardly support anymore. So even our backup system, we have a pretty massive little mini server that we back up, and our internet just can't handle it. So, I mean, Josh is 100% yay, and I've been kind of pushing back a little bit, but, and as far as line items go, yeah, we have a phone and internet line items in our budget, approved budget, that are pretty close to what this would bring, so. I'm surprised, yours is a little bit of a savings.
Yes.
They have a lot of Frontier on the phone lines, I'm guessing.
Okay, and ours is a little more, but, so it's close to a wash for these two departments, just so you can generalize in your mind.
Yeah.
Close to a wash. We have a tremendous need with our asset management accounting software that I've been putting off, and Janet can speak for herself on her needs.
Well, what's your pleasure on the other two? I just don't know whether we have enough information
Yeah, can
to
I
move
circle around?
forward to that right now.
Can I circle around just for a second?
Absolutely.
The initial paper bid or the email bid that went out, that Ross submitted, was it
Yeah.
so it was ESDA Highway Health Airport?
No, the highway wasn't on it. It was animal shelter.
And, yeah, and I guess once you factor in the bill, like I said, there's no way that the airport connectivity, whether it's phone, internet, or other, is that high. So, I mean, once you factor in the cost over, even if it's 4 years, so you're talking, what, $25,000 for all in for that service, is that right?
24, 20, yeah, 25.
Plus
you're right.
$1,000 install?
Yeah,
Right.
yep.
So, yeah, I don't think that's reasonable, especially considering current budget constraints, but I think, you know, I think we probably, you know, the ESDA thing is still a question mark for me, and that's how much, you know, if we're talking about safety and the sole purpose of ESDA and being the, you know, hopefully we never have to use it, but, you know, do we wanna reinforce that, and, you know, what is that extra cost, what's that look like? So, I mean, do you know off the top of your head what the difference in cost is gonna be?
He's supposed to give me a memo, but he's saying about $50 a month.
$50 a month more?
Yeah.
And Janet, you said yours is?
Probably gonna save about $50 a month.
Okay. So.
I had asked Jill to look at grants
I was gonna say
to do theirs. And of course, didn't she say something to the fact that we're good? But I still agree with you, Derek, and the rest of you, that we probably should upgrade that system to make it more fail-safe in case of emergency.
And I'm sure they have a redundant system now through Frontier. How good it is, I have no clue. I mean, we kind of need Jill's input on this because, you know, the last time we discussed it with her, she seemed reasonably happy with the system she had, but I would like her input.
Yeah. Well,
So, I mean, what's our timeframe? We need to,
Well, I know that they said that install wise, they're 120 to 150 days out right now.
I assume that's a running timeline, or it's a moving target.
I can circle around today, this morning, and try to make contact with Jill, okay?
That would be great.
And then maybe get her to the study session on the 22nd, okay? I think it's imperative that you three, Josh, Janet, and Ross, coordinate your activities, and have in the back of your mind, Josh, about the ESDA,
Okay.
and say there's a possibility, start planting that seed and maybe getting some information on how that would work. And we still want to try to whittle down that 60-month
Yeah.
program
I was
down
waiting
to
back on her now.
whatever you can get. Does everybody agree with that in general?
Yeah, I'm
You
of the
wanna add to
opinion that if, there comes to some decision point between, for you two, that just press. I don't think anybody's gonna.
Well, they're separate agencies anyway.
Sure.
So
as
they
much as it
can-
matters what we think, yeah.
We're
We have
helping
our
them
blessing.
accommodate what they need and making them more efficient, right? And then we can help Jill along and see what we can do there and what makes sense. Does that make sense?
Several phone lines out there,
Mm-hmm,
and those are landlines too, correct?
yes, I believe, yes, yes.
Okay.
Cause see, we just went
You
with
wanna
the,
put everything,
It's about 75 telemarketer calls a day.
it looks like it if you go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Janet, are you okay with all that?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Janet? Okay.
All I have.
Dina?
We rolled all the 2018 data over to the clerk on March 13th, so when he gets done with election stuff, they should be able to start the levy process and get tax bills over to Dawn. 3 of the 4 quad townships are complete. They're in Ross Township today. That's the final one. And just an update, we are still dealing with some conversion headaches with the new Canvas system. This quad will be the first time we use it, so we have training again tomorrow and Friday. So it will be a brand new top-of-the-line system. Just the conversion and learning how to use it.
Dana, since the meeting that I attended with you folks, have they kept up with what you expected at
We
this?
got somebody's attention.
And Augie, are you finding that also? Of course, you're not involved as much right now.
Not right now, we aren't, yes.
But you will
But
be.
we will be,
Right.
so.
Okay. Thank you, Dina. Any questions of Dina or clarifications?
Do you work with Bruce Harris?
Mm-hmm.
Are they a good organization?
They have the best support system. I'm not a technology person to know any ins and outs of that, but they have the best support system. I have an issue and they are on the phone immediately. I wouldn't change them unless I absolutely had to.
And you're well satisfied with their GIS stuff?
Absolutely. Again, I have support whenever I need it,
Mhm.
when things go wrong.
Because 911's has to do, and Eric could maybe expand on it, but they're gonna have to do some stuff for the county with the new next-gen stuff. And we got a contract offer from them to,
Oh,
and just curious what your thoughts are on them.
I'm behind them 100%. Again, just due because of the support.
Tom?
Nothing to report.
Nothing, okay. Contractors meeting sometime next week, and I'm not sure exactly when. I thought I'd, Nicole or Eric?
The Hayvelds, we're getting ready to have our practical skills exam and graduate our EMT class at the end of the month. So that's good news. From the 911 front, we have some huge expenditures that are gonna come out that are gonna be several hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 3 to 4 years. We talked about at our meeting, because we have to do this new next gen with GIS mapping. And the initial cost, just to start the process, to add the layers to what the county's already done, is $98,000. And then we also have to, the state's requiring us to update all the software, so for dispatching and 911, and that's gonna be another at least $200,000 to $300,000. We're fortunate at 911 that we have the money in the bank to pay for all this right now. And at our meeting, we did approve the agreement with the county for this going forward. There should be a demand check tomorrow. We increased what we had been paying the county. We've been paying 40% of the dispatch cost, which is roughly around $114,000. We increased it for this year to $135,288, which is 45% of what the dispatcher's cost is to the county, which makes our quarterly payments gonna be $33,822. So you all should have the first check tomorrow, because they couldn't get it done because of the county board meeting and demand checks, but Nanette said she was gonna take care of that. And she would have been here, but she had a dentist appointment this morning.
Okay.
But we do have a lot of stuff coming up that's gonna cost us a lot of money that, you know, we are fortunate that we have the money in the bank to pay for, and it's all state mandated required stuff.
Thank you, Eric. Questions, clarifications? Okay. Mr. Griffin?
Thank you. As I mentioned at the study session Monday, the election on April the 2nd went very well, very smooth. The new equipment worked perfect. The turnout is expected to be low, 14.7. I appreciate everybody getting out to vote. However, I certainly would want to encourage those that didn't get out to vote to please get out and exercise your right to vote every opportunity that you get. Also, a big thank you to all of the election judges, the election night help, my staff. We just absolutely could not have elections without those people. So if you see anybody, you know, that's served in that capacity, please just give them a thank you, because it's a long day, it's hard work, setting up, taking down, going through the motions. So, but overall, I was very pleased with the operation. Dan?
You ever figure out the cost per vote?
Well, not yet. I don't have all
That's
invoice
usually
for
a lot
some of
of
the
times
supplies.
different county will give you how much it costs per vote if you have a real long term.
He usually does, it's just a little early.
Okay, just wondered.
That's all I have.
Okay. You were mentioned, when are you gonna start hitting the tax bills, and do you have a plan on how?
I do have a plan. As soon as our canvass of the votes is completed, which I'm hoping to be within the next, the last date is the 23rd of April. I hope to have it done a week prior to that. So my goal is to get started towards the end of April.
And that usually takes a month?
It could take a month. It's supposed to be a lot quicker and a lot smoother with our new vendor, CIC, but that remains to be seen.
Thank you. Any questions of Augie? Okay. We'll move to the portion of the meeting for committee reports. Dan?
A couple things. We had our animal meeting yesterday. Andrea asked for donations on Facebook for food. I think she said she got 75 bags of food.
Huge amount, yeah.
Some of them are like 50 and 60 pounds. So she said she probably has enough food to last the rest of the year. She did have to hire an exterminator because she said the mice were eating one bag a night.
Maybe
she
she
did hire an
could,
exterminator from Clinton and said he did a good job and didn't cost a lot. So I said I could give her some of my cats, but she didn't want any of those. The other thing, I was feeding the cats over on Wood Street the other day, and there was a guy looking at the house. If you've seen what the house looks like, you know it's kind of a mess. But he had seen, he's from Sidell, he'd seen the house advertised on the website. So he thought about buying it since it only cost $800, and he was telling me how he was gonna fix it up. He's gonna tear the porch off and do this and do this, and I kinda looked at him like, you know, you're crazy, but I didn't say that, but he didn't realize it's in the county, so I don't know if he'll be back or not, but,
Hey, Dan,
It'd
did
be
you tell him
nice
he
if
could
he
always
was.
make a tree house out of it?
yeah, I know. I told him if he buys the house, the cats come with it, so he didn't like that. Yeah, but
Maybe you should start mouse adoption.
Yeah, I know. The other thing that kind of bothered me, he said he came in Central from the north, and he said, what's all those houses that are falling down on Central Street? I said, well, wait till you go out on North Main Street, go in the other direction, you'll see the same thing. So it is kind of a disaster, you know, what are you gonna do? So, I don't know if he'll be back or not, but I tried to entice him, encourage him to buy the house, but we'll see if it works or not, so. Other than that, no, nothing.
I'm
Andy?
not sure throwing the cats in on the deal is the best enticement.
I got some more coming too.
I guess the big thing is our smart audit. They gave us some figures, I kinda wanna go through them a little more to see. There's some things that we don't need to do that have a long payback. But basically what they gave us was is a package that's about a 15-year, we're gonna pay back on it. A lot of lighting improvements, heating improvements. But some of them we don't need, some of them we do. I wanna nail down exactly which ones we're gonna have, and then I think by the next meeting we'll have a concrete figure.
Is this a time to bring up, Dan, with Janet about maybe making a presentation or discussing with her board or her, however she'd like to handle it, as far as how the smart watt proposals affect things and what we wanna do?
We haven't discussed it much, have we?
No, and I feel like I really am like on this outer ring about the whole thing. I
Okay.
know, you know, I know what their goal is and what they're doing, but I mean, I don't have any information as to what they found about our building or
Okay,
anything like that.
I'll get,
So we
I
need,
would like them to present it to you, because it's a little confusing, I mean, but I'd like them to present and tell you what, yours is one of the buildings that they felt was the most benefit. You benefit more from lighting, heating, cooling, and you made statements before you've had trouble with it. Like 1 month, 1 or 2 or 3 months, your bills were outrageous, and
Right, and it's because the system would go down and then, yeah, they don't come fix it.
you got a real need, and I'll contact Lori and say, you know, we'll set up a time to come down and show you and explain to you what you need and how much you could save.
Can we let Ori contact Janet, so just the two of them can figure out the time and place? I mean, I'm not sure that, it'd be nice if we could show up, but I don't think we really need to be involved in it. And Ori sounded more than, you know, he really wanted to do that, we were just trying to figure out the best way to coordinate it.
Well, the other thing, we've had some stuff done, upgraded, and some other stuff needs upgraded, and I don't think Janet knows all of that. It might be wise to have a guy from Sycamore come over
Exactly, and Shane
and
Cooper.
explain what needs to be done.
Yeah, Shane Cooper works,
Right.
I am getting to know him very well, actually, and he would be more than happy
Right.
to be there, cause I think that would be great,
I do
because,
too.
yeah, I'm not gonna understand the lingo a whole lot,
Mhm.
so Shane there would be probably very
And I
beneficial.
think that they are the ones who Smart Walk's working through.
Yes,
They
I
know
know
they
that.
probably would be doing the work, the majority of the work, so.
now you don't have another board meeting until June,
June.
so that's problematic if you wanna involve your
No, we
board.
have one in May, we don't have one in April, we have one in May.
You have one in May?
Yes.
Okay, well then and that's towards the first of the month?
The third Wednesday.
Ooh. Well,
Really, the
I'll
biggest-
let you handle how you wanna do your board.
The biggest piece where we need to be in discussion is how we're actually gonna go
Right.
about the finances portion, because by the nature of how this project works, we all go in together, but, you know, how you can pay your bills and we pay ours. So that's the one real, you know, friction point that I see, and certainly if you want, we can get you a copy of this, which is a very brief kind of synopsis, but it does give you an idea of what the savings are. I can also send you an email with all the stuff that he gave us, just to have, you got an opportunity to get your arms around it before he comes and talks to you, that might be helpful as well, and we're more than happy to do that,
All
so.
right, yeah, that'd be great.
Just as a quick piece, I mean, I think it's worth mentioning, certainly with previous discussions we've had today. I assume this is fairly accurate or a reasonable estimation of what the savings, with this plan is, and that was kind of the whole, impetus behind this. And so, I think that's worth pointing out if you wanna, your show, I'll let you, win all the, we'll throw the confetti at you, and the bottom bold print there,
This one?
20-year benefit on both for the county and then also on the health department and second.
Well, this says excluding health department. This also says excluding health department, but I think this is the health department, correct?
Yes.
So,
No other health department.
which is why I said, I want to verify some of this information. I'm correct in saying these are the health department numbers,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I thought it was, but like I said, they both said excluding, so, basically, the 20-year benefit, with a 15-year payback for everything but the health department is $1,350,000 for the county, with a cost basically of around 717, is that what you're looking?
Right, so my assumption based on this is that the total savings overall, with everything included, would be 1.3 to the county, right? So, that's part of this, is there's additional savings above and beyond the budget neutral advantages so all told, and I assume this is reasonably accurate, it's almost $2 million of savings over a 20-year period. So, that's pretty nice. That will come in handy.
Well, you'll get Janet plugged in as quickly as we can. We'll get this on the agenda for on the 22nd also, if you want to go ahead and approve. That was the other agenda item I was thinking about for the 22nd, along with the ambulance, if you want to do. I mean, we can stack that in there if that's all right. Because we didn't make this one, and hopefully Mark will have a chance to wade through all of this and give his opinion.
It says included, but that is the health department.
Okay.
I have to verify that. Anyway.
All right. Anything else, Cindy?
No, not right now.
Bill?
No,
John?
Nope.
Carl?
No.
And Derek?
So just to flesh out, you kind of mentioned it, but there was an email that went out this morning, I believe, about a pre-construction meeting for 4144, which is West Ramp and Fuel Farm. So trying to get that scheduled for next week, so that's in motion. Just no concrete updates on the second project, but things are moving. And there's been kind of back and forth between Hanson and the state. We'll let you know as soon as there is something that is worth reporting in that regard. So that's it for me.
Budget-wise, I'm sorry, didn't get copies. They weren't, Don, like I said, wasn't there this morning. We'll make sure at the next meeting you have copies, the study session. I also thought I'd put on the study session a introduction to some of our issues as far as income. Start getting our hands around income versus expenditures, and we'd use a study session to look at some of those issues, at least start to look at it on the 22nd of April. If anybody doesn't mind that, I think we'll have time, it'll be worthwhile. I'll try to get Don there so that he can give you his first-hand impressions about what he's seen also, which I think would be helpful. I don't mean to sound the alarm, but I think we need to, as far as long-term. We can get by short-term, but we need to start thinking about long-term, so we're not sitting here in 6 months or 2 years and going, well, we got real, I think we have real problems, but we haven't started to solve them, okay? So, any questions? Cash flow is always an issue. We've got plenty of funds coming in here in the next couple of days that will make it possible, according to Don's email to me, to get to the next meeting. So that stuff is where we're at, so. Okay? Anything else to come before the meeting today, gentlemen? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Derek moves, Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We're adjourned. I gotta slip those.